Hello everybody, welcome back to 10 Minute Reviews. Jason here. Sorry it's been a little while since I posted a video. I'll try and make this pretty quick. Thank you to all of our patrons, all of our supporters. Really appreciate it. Don't forget to check the links down below for links to today's book and anything else that we might find applicable. I need to have some traffic through that Amazon thing that you guys suggest in order for it to keep going. Otherwise, I'm going to go ahead and jump right into today's video. So for this video, I want to talk about a book, an author, and a book that I haven't talked about yet. This is actually a series. It was 5 books, I want to say. Really, really, really good. This is not, adult erotica, harem, anything along those lines. Just a straight novel, but really, 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 really good. The author is Robyn, Widemon. And the series is The Wandering Cultivator. Those of you guys that have been watching for a while know that amongst all the various genres I read, the cultivation genre is one of them that I really, really enjoy. And I came across Wandering Cultivator. I'm not quite sure how Amazon's algorithms finally actually suggested something that was good. And I decided to give it a shot, and yeah, it was really, 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 really good. It's not like a lot of the cultivation novels that we read, where we've got a character that's, say, wildly overpowered or anything like that. In this particular case, the character's relatively average. He's good at what he does. He's a good cultivator and has a lot of potential, but he's not, he's not this incredibly overpowered, hidden master kind of cultivator. Anyway, main character's name is Kaylin. I don't really need to describe the world to you guys too much, because if you read cultivation books, you know they're pretty much all the same type of world. Spirit beasts and the whole cultivation battles and the martial arts and stuff like that. And nothing's really different. Nothing really stands out as different here. The world itself, there's only so much they can do. Very Asian inspired, but the way it's written, the writing style, just the way it's written, and the characters are a whole bunch of fun. So our main character's name is Kaylin, and he is in a cultivation academy, and he is testing to be able to stay in the academy, maintain the scholarship, continue moving forward. His primary focus is alchemy, basically, alchemist, and that's his main focus. So those of you guys that have read Primal Hunter and stuff like that will, of course, know quite a bit about this type of character. And that has been his focus to such a degree that he's actually weaker than where he should be when it comes to combat. And that's really where this starts out. It starts out with a combat tournament to stay within the academy. But of course there's other aspects of the tournament as well, so he's first in the alchemy side of things, and he just has to maintain a certain percentage. So it looks like it's going to be fairly standard, just going through the academy, probably learn a few new things, so on and so forth. But then it takes a little bit of a turn, because he gets news from his family that his sister is ill. His sister was actually attacked by a beast, and this beast poisoned her, and it poisoned her cultivation. It basically crippled her, and Kaylin can't let this stand, but he doesn't know what to do. He looks into things, and there might be a potential solution, a potential way for her to be healed via alchemy, but the cost of the materials is exorbitant. I mean, it's just up there. It's real tough to put things into like modern type of thought processes. I guess you could say maybe it'd be the equivalent of maybe something that would cost billions. So it'd be something that large organizations might do for the right person, and that's the stumbling block he runs into. Because while he's got some talent, and so did his sister, he's still fairly low. He hasn't ascended up to some of the higher tiers on cultivation. So while there were some organizations that were interested in him because of his alchemy skills, it wasn't worth the cost. They weren't willing to sink that kind of cost into him on a chance that he could end up ascending up to a peak. So Kaylin realizes that he doesn't have a whole lot of choice, but he's thinking about things, and he's very, very much a talented alchemist. So he's thinking about things more and more and more, and he really approaches the alchemy side of things almost in a mathematical way of, okay, if this plus this equals this, well, what about, if you look at things to say, like, 10 plus 10 equals 20, and 20 is your solution. The number 20 is what will cure this ailment or whatever it may be. And you have to get these ingredients, these two ingredients each worth 10, and refine them until they can be combined into this pill or ointment or whatever it may be. Caitlin has this thing with food, which I can understand because I have a thing with food. I have, unfortunately, a little too much of a thing with food. And he realizes through experience, he already knows that food can have an effect on cultivation, and what you eat can change, can have an effect as well. And he's looking at ingredients, and he looks at ingredients as, okay, well, what do they do? So he looks at it as this 10 plus 10. Well, what about if I just had 2 plus 2 plus 4 plus 2 instead of a 10? Maybe I can do it this way. And he starts devising, he looks at it and goes, okay, if this ingredient does this, well, this other ingredient also does this, but at a significantly lesser level, and can't be refined the same way into some alchemical pill. But what if I took this ingredient and instead incorporated it into food? So they get a smaller dose. So instead of one pill that will heal instantly, what about possibly a medicine almost, although more along the lines of seasonings, of food that will give them a tiny bit, but as long as they get that tiny bit every day before it fades away, it will build up and could also solve the problem. So that's what he starts experimenting on. That's what he starts looking at, and the only way he can pull this off is to leave the academy. So unlike a lot of books where they belong to a sect, he belongs to an academy. There are of course sects within this world as well. So he heads on out. He heads on out to be a wandering cultivator, although really what he wants to be is a wandering alchemist. All he cares about is curing his sister. And that's the main primary focus of this first book. I will be talking about all 5 books. They're really, really good. It's a fantastic series. If you like cultivation books, martial arts books, stuff like that, check it out. Wandering Cultivator by Robyn, Widemon. Really, 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 really good. The only other thing that really stands out in this book is he meets somebody. He meets basically a feral child almost. Well, not a child. He meets a feral woman. Kind of like I did once. I ended up marrying her. And she is a cultivator pretty close to his level, but there's some damage there. There's some damage in her cultivation. She actually he can tell she's a much, much stronger cultivator than him, but there's damage to her cultivation. Brings her down, but she still, combat-wise, can just utterly annihilate him. And he ends up allying himself with her. She ends up being almost like a secondary main character. Awesome character as well. And their trials and tribulations and their own personal histories are going to intersect and really build up through the rest of the series, and it's a lot of fun. You guys got to check out Wandering Cultivator. Thank you, everybody, for watching. We will catch you next time. Bye now.